Tiger is an umbrella species and also an apex predator in most of the forest in India. By conserving tiger, we are also conserving the water regimen, very dense forests, as well as the environment. Project Tiger was launched in the year 1973 with only 9 tiger reserves. Today, we have 50 tiger reserves. The tiger population has been increasing steadily over the years. Today, we have more than 75% of the total global tiger population in the wild. India is a global leader in tiger conservation. And Project Tiger is one of the most successful projects taken up in India. Thank you.
We thank Shri Anup Kumar Sir, Member Secretary, National Tiger Conservation Authority, for his message. Viewers, this year we have experienced a very unusual summer. This region, known for extreme heat, was very mild with frequent showers throughout. We have seen the early arrival of monsoon too. The forest looked green and is pleasing to eyes. With the arrival of monsoon, we can see an increased activity of a variety of species. The frequent showers and fire-free summer has ensured an increased activity of birds as well. Now we will have a look at what interesting things our staff have come across in the last 7 days. Here we go.
A series of sandstone pillars is standing upright alongside the road in the jungles of Tadoba. This has aroused curiosity of the visitors as well as the wildlife enthusiasts. However, many stories and misconceptions have been woven around about the period of its origin and utility. The visitors have been told various stories about these historic pillars by the jungle guides, paving way to the several myths and misconceptions. The convener of Intact studied the pillars thoroughly and its history to come to a conclusion that the pillars were erected by the British as direction indicators in the dense jungle of Tadoba-Andhari Tiger Reserve. As many as 35 pillars have been found inside the dense forest. The pillars were erected by the British after they started ruling Nagpur and Chandrapur after taking over from the Bonsala dynasty in 1818. At that time, the British officials from Chandrapur had to regularly report to the residencies situated at Nagpur, traveling over days on the way and back. The U-shaped stones placed on top of the pillars show the correct direction to follow so that no one passing through the dense jungles would fail to spot their way. This is a white-eyed buzzard. A white-eyed buzzard is a regular and a medium-sized hawk found in South Asia. They are found in the drier parts throughout the India up to about 1000 meters in the Himalayas, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Pakistan. This is a resident bird but also moves locally. And it looks like it has found a catch today. While driving in the jungle, if you see this white-eyed buzzard and stop by to take a picture, every time you stop the vehicle, the bird flies. That's something very interesting about this bird. It is definitely a difficult task to take a picture of this white-eyed buzzard as they don't stay on one tree for a long time. It is an extremely rare sight to see the grey jungle fowls on the tree. They belong to the pheasant family and they are usually seen foraging on the ground. Here we have an adult male and a female on the tree. We are now at the Lake, and here we have very interesting birds on the banks of the lake. The greyish bird, which is comparatively larger, is the river tern, and the one which is smaller is called as a little tern. The river terns are distributed in India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and other Southeast Asian countries. It is a resident breeder along inland rivers of the Indian subcontinent. Unlike most terns, it is almost exclusively found on fresh water, rarely venturing even to the tidal creeks. The breeding season of these river tern species is from February to May in most of the breeding grounds. They breed in colonies and are monogamous and territorial. Both the sexes look alike. During the breeding season, February to May, it has a deep glossy black head and nape. In winter, the cap is greyish white, flecked and streaked with black. There is a dark mask through the eye and the tip of the bill becomes dusky. The diet of this river tern consists mainly of fish. They also are known to feed on crustaceans, frogs, tadpoles, and aquatic insects, which are also their primary food. These species feed by plunge diving. The little tern is tiny, delicate looking tern. These dainty seabirds are under 25 centimeters in length and weigh about same as a tennis ball. They are summer visitors to Tadoba. Mainly coastal but also occurs inland locally. The breeding plumage has a black cap with white forehead, black tipped yellow bill. It breeds colonially on sandy and stony substrates, at times with other terns from beaches to riverbanks and lake shores. They will only fly a short distance from the nest site to forage. They feed mostly on sand eels and young herring by plunge diving to catch them, and will also feed on shrimps and small invertebrates. We are now heading towards the Pawnee Lake, and since there's plenty of grass and also the monsoon showers has brought back the greenery, we are getting to see plenty of herbivores, especially the spotted deer grazing nearby the lake. And here you also can see big herds of spotted deer crossing the road. If you observe, the herbivore population has increased and also is seen in the open areas, especially the grazers. And the spotted deer here are found in plenty in the Navigam meadows. There is also a nilgai, a female, with two of her fawns, which we had earlier shown in our first two episodes.
The lesser adjutants, also known as lesser adjutant stork. They are generally found along large rivers, lakes, swamps, as well as in fresh and salt water, wetland, and wooded areas. These birds stand about 40 to 50 inches tall, having a wingspan of about 83 inches and weigh around 8 to 10 kilos. These storks are often observed stalking around wetlands as they search for prey such as fish, frogs, reptiles, and other large invertebrates. They are also amazing scavengers. The bald head and neck of these scavengers become rapidly covered with blood and other substances as they feed inside corpuscles. They were named adjutant by British colonial troops based on their slow and stiff movement and their habit of standing motionless for long periods of time, reminiscent of officers standing at attention.
The monsoon has begun in Tadoba. We have already witnessed few pre-monsoon showers and also some of the rare animals that have come out in the monsoons. Yes, this is the Indian bullfrog, and the pre-monsoon shower initiate their breeding season. This bullfrog is a large female with the yellow underparts. And this one is a male. The males turn completely yellow in color. The females initiate the calling. As you can see in this video, the female is calling out by enlarging her vocal sac, and you can also hear one of the males responding. The male is on one of the corner of the puddle and the female has reached there. Other bright colored males also start calling. The males will have a purple vocal sac when compared to the female. It's only in daylight hours that the male frog miraculously changes color and, like a sumo wrestler, fights with other males. Another unique aspect of the bullfrog's breeding behavior is that it happens mostly during the daytime. Perhaps that's why they even bother to change color. All this to gain mating rights with the onlooking females, which remain mostly camouflaged and submerged in the water. The females would have only their eyes and snout poking out. Once the eggs are laid and external fertilization occurs, the eggs sink to the bottom of the water and tadpoles emerge after a few days. The male can stay on top of the female for hours, and usually this happens in the early hours of the day. Sometimes females who are in one of the corners watching other females mating can also come and interrupt the mating. What is very interesting about the bullfrogs breeding is that these bullfrogs mate for less than 2 days and then the males come back to their regular colors. It mainly happens during the pre-monsoon showers. We have a couple of painted stalks foraging. One of them looks like a sabaril. Being one of the largest birds, the painted stalks are excellent at flight. The jacanas are identified by their huge feet and claws, which enable them to walk on floating vegetation in the shallow lakes that is their preferred habitat. They are found worldwide within the tropical zone. The BronzeWinged Jacana breeds in India and Southeast Asia. It is sedentary apart from seasonal dispersion. It lays 4 black marked brown eggs on a floating nest. The males, as in some other Vader families, take responsibility for incubation. The breeding season of these BronzeWinged Jacana species is mainly in the monsoon season in South India. These species are polyandrous, the female partnering with more than one male in a breeding season. Female BronzeWinged Jacana form harem territories, which includes the territories of 1 to 4 males. The females defend their territory aggressively from other females. The males also defend their territory from other males. Before laying eggs, the female BronzeWinged Jacana may spend more time with the receiver male. After laying eggs, the receiver male takes over the responsibility of brooding and raising chicks. Meanwhile, the female moves to the territory of another male and provides him with another clutch of eggs. One of the rarely seen birds in Tadoba is the purple heron. The purple heron favors fresh marshes with tall reeds and other vegetation. They also reside all year round in India. In northern India, breeding is June to October, while in southern India, breeding is from November to March. These birds often form monogamous pairs, although it has been documented that purple heron males will raise a brood with 2 females simultaneously. Purple herons tend to be crepuscular. They begin and end the day by foraging individually. They sometimes forage diurnally if the area is well covered and free from potential predators. Preening is one of the vital bird behaviors that determine the hygiene and health of the avians. Every bird has to perform this on a daily basis. The frequency and time depends on the species, habits, habitats, food and size of birds. Displaced feathers can cause birds considerable trouble. Such feathers might become damaged, could interrupt the smooth flow of air over a flying bird, or might allow the bird's body heat to escape. Preening allows a bird to reposition such displaced feathers. Preening also enables birds to remove dirt and parasites from their plumage and assists in the waterproofing of feathers. The red velvet mite is a small predatory arachnid belonging to Trombididae family. The story of the red velvet mite begins with the eggs, which are laid in clumps of 60 to 100,000 depending upon the species in wet soil. After about 2 months, the eggs hatch and red velvet mite larvae appear. The pre-larval stage does not last long. It might vary from 1 to 3 days and during this time, the red velvet mite doesn't do much. It just hangs around in the general region where it is hatched. Finally, after 2 weeks, the mite enters the adult stage. Adult mites are inactive much of the year but come out after the rains. Because of this, it has also earned them the nickname called rain bugs. The red velvet mites appear during the rainy season, which overlaps with an increase of prey animals like ants and termites, and feed on the harmful pests at larval stage to help the farmer to control the pest. During that time, the mites feed and mate, but once the rainy season is over, they go underground and hang out until the next rain return. The oil from the red velvet mite is used in traditional Indian medicine to treat paralysis. We have reached the N-body water body and we find a herd of sambar deer along with a troop of langurs quenching the thirst. The sambar deers have decided to move. They are gently crossing the road and are entering the thickets. In the meanwhile, a female barking deer waits patiently to cross the road. These are highly elusive and secretive animals. They live a solitary life and rarely are seen in pairs. There is also a male barking deer. If you observe closely, he has the velvet on the antlers, which means he has lost his previous antlers and is trying to grow a new one. Usually, the length of the antlers can be somewhere in between 2 to 3 inches long. The male also follows the female and enters the thickets. Rat snakes are medium to large sized non-venomous snakes that kill by constriction. They are also called dhaman in Hindi. Dhamans are diurnal, semi-arboreal, non-venomous and fast-moving snakes found throughout India. Adult dhamans have no natural predators other than the king cobras that overlap in the range. Juveniles fear birds of prey, large reptiles, and mid-sized mammals. They are wary, quick to react, and fast-moving. They inhabit forest floors, wetlands, rice paddy fields, farmlands, and suburban areas where they prey upon small reptiles, amphibians, birds, and mammals. Rat snakes mate in the late spring and early summer. Though in tropical areas, reproduction may vary and take place all year round. Males establish boundaries of territories using a ritualized test of strength in which they intertwine their bodies with the other males. This is called the male combat. The behavior is sometimes misread by observers as a mating dance between opposite sex individuals. This rat snake has decided to shed its skin today. All animals shed the skin, even you. In mammals, especially humans, this is an ongoing process that's rarely noticed. Skin shedding in reptiles is different. Instead of an ongoing process, reptiles shed their skin periodically. Snakes are even more unique because their skin usually comes off in one piece. They shed their skin to allow further growth and to remove parasites that may have attached to their old skin. As a snake grows, its skin becomes stretched. Unlike human skin, a snake's skin doesn't grow as the animal grows. Eventually, a snake's skin reaches a point where further growth is not possible. When that occurs, a new layer of skin grows underneath the current one. As soon as it is complete, the old skin peels away, leaving behind a snake-shaped shell along with any parasites that may have been attached. Snakes shed their skin quite often. The average snake will shed its skin 2 to 4 times per year. This average varies with age and species, however. Young snakes that are actively growing may shed their skin every 2 weeks. Older snakes This individual here is approximately 4 to 4.5 feet long. And initially, he was looking for a perfect place to shed the skin. As you can observe here, the snake is going round and round, trying to rub his body against the tree and also other litter fallen on the ground. And while rubbing the body against these hard structures, the skin automatically peels off. The snake also applies pressure by the movement of the muscles while rubbing so that skin can be peeled off easily. Monitor lizards are very active. They are relatively fast walkers, lumbering along and moving their heads from side to side. When they sense something, they often freeze like a pointer or some hunting dog. Monitors are regarded as the most intelligent of all lizards. In the wild, they can remember where hiding places are. If they are threatened, they head to these places using the most direct route no matter where they are. They are also good swimmers. They use their powerful tail to propel them through the water. Some have been observed swimming in the ocean, covering distances of 30 or more miles. But most of the times they stick close to the rivers and swamps. During the dry season, when food is much less plentiful, monitor lizards conserve their energy by staying very still. One of the scientists observed a large male who stayed in a large tree for 72 consecutive days and at most moved from one branch to another. Monitors are alert and skilled hunters. and this is reflected by their dominance as hunters in many niches across the old world. Many species feed primarily on other lizards, and these species are often wise to tick off pursued lizards. For example, an escaping lizard often runs in a zigzag pattern to a place such as a bush or a rock. Rather than following the lizard's zigzag pattern, the monitor lizards head directly to the object the lizard is escaping to and catches it before it arrives. During our patrol, we heard the distress call of a grey jungle fowl and decided to stop on the road. We had sensed the predator. To our surprise, this female tigress, T7, came onto the road and we observed her marking her territory. It is very important for tigers to mark the territory on a regular basis. Some of the most interesting methods of them marking the territory is by spraying on the trees. Apart from spraying, they are also known to stand up on their hind legs and scratch the tree using the claws to leave behind the scent. They are also known to rub their face. They have the scent glands in the cheeks as well. That leaves behind the scent on the tree. These are some of the methods that you usually get to see in the jungle while looking at the tigers. The recent showers might have washed away the scent of this female tigress, and hence she might have decided to come and mark her territory. And tigers also tend to walk on the roads for a long distance because of the soft pads. And there she goes inside the thickets.
The brown fish owl is a large owl that measures about 55 centimeters in length. The upper plumage is reddish brown, heavily streaked with black or dark brown. The plumage below its underparts are buff with brown streaking. The throat is white and they have prominent ears. Their yellow forward facing eyes are nearly as large as human eyes and are immobile within their circular bone sockets. For this reason, owls need flexible necks as they have to turn the entire head to change views. They have the same number of vertebrae in the necks as most mammals and can move their heads 270 degrees in either direction, nearly all the way around. Most other bird species have their eyes on the sides of their heads, enabling them to see sideways and to some extent backwards. However, owls on the other hand have both eyes in the front, which enhances their depth perception. Owls are far-sighted, means they are unable to clearly see anything within a few inches of their eyes. Their far vision, particularly in low light, is however exceptional. To protect their eyes, owls have three eyelids, one upper and one lower eyelid. The upper lid closes when the owl blinks and the lower closes when the owl sleeps. The third eyelid, called the nictitating membrane, is a thin layer of tissue that closes diagonally across the eye from the inside to the outside. The purpose of these membranes is to clean, moisten, and to protect the surface of the eyes.
This is a bird called as the white-browed fantail flycatcher. As you can see here, the bird has started nesting and might have eggs in the nest. The white-browed fantail flycatcher has dark brown upperparts with white spots on the wings and whitish underparts. The fan-shaped tail is edged in white and long white supercilia meet on the forehead. The white-browed fantail breeds across tropical regions of the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia. This species ranges from eastern Pakistan to southern Indochina, and it is found in the forest and other woodland. 3 eggs are laid in a small cup nest in a tree. The white-browed fantail is insectivorous and often fans its tail as it moves through the undergrowth. Females are slightly paler in color with browner head. The nests are small cup-shaped and without a tail extending below the nest base. There is a huge Indian gaur crossing the road. And as you can see, the jungle has turned lush green in color because of the monsoon showers. We have found another raptor. This is the Oriental honey buzzard. The Oriental honey buzzard is a medium-sized bird of prey. The male buzzard is smaller compared to the female. These Oriental honey buzzard species inhabit woodlands of various climatic types. They prefer broad-leaved forests. The Oriental honey buzzards feed on the larvae of bees and wasps. These buzzards also feed on bees, wasps, and cicadas. They have also been observed eating bits of honeycomb and honey. The breeding season of these Oriental honey buzzard species starts from March in South India. In the northern ranges, it is during the summer months. The availability of feed is also a factor for breeding. These buzzard species construct nests in the forks of trees. The mating or the courtship display includes wing clapping. The males fly up in the air and clap the wings in order to impress the females. The male buzzard is long-necked with a small blue-gray head with a short head crest. The tail is long and darker with a white band. The back is brown and the underparts are paler. The female has brown head. It occasionally makes high-pitched whistling sound. The Oriental honey buzzard in the northern regions is migratory. They arrive at the breeding grounds in the north in April and May and leave between August and October. The buzzard populations in the south are sedentary. These species is well known for its tendency to congregate in large flocks of up to thousands during migration. We hope that you have enjoyed the safari experience on our YouTube channel. Please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel TATR 4K Live. You can also leave us your valuable feedback at feedback@mytadoba.org. We will be back soon next Friday at 3 p.m. Till then, stay home and stay safe. Thank you very much.
Stay alert, stay safe. Jai Hind.
Stay alert, stay safe. Jai Hind.
Stay alert, stay safe. Jai Hind.
सतर्क रहा, घरी रहा. जय हिंद.
Stay alert, stay safe. Jai Hind.